I call this demo Beyond the Basic Wrapper because what we're doing here is creating a 5-page site. You can see the home page, Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. 5 pages, all the cast members of The Wizard of Oz. And right in here, this group photo, you'll notice, acts as an image map. Each one of the characters is a hotspot. If I click on Dorothy, it takes me to the Dorothy page. And in fact, the Ruby Slippers are a JavaScript rollover that takes me back home again. If I click on the Tin Man, back home, the Scarecrow, back home, and the Lion, and back home again. Also, each one of these up here are active links as well, all interconnected, and then back home again. So this is our demo, a 5-page site, and let's get started in Dreamweaver. When you're building a multi-page site, it's really valuable to create a little site map. It helps you in the organization of all your pages as well as your file naming. You can see I've got my index page, which is my home page, and then I have a page for each character, which is Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. Let's take a look at our page in Dreamweaver. This is where we can really examine all the details. You'll notice that I've got my header.jpg right here. I've got my links right across the top, and here I've got a graphic image that is acting as an image map. And you'll notice these blue areas. These are hotspot areas that define the image map, and when you click on any one of these areas, it will direct you, link you to another page. We'll go down a little bit, and we can see here's the H1, little paragraph of type. Right here we've got a JavaScript rollover, and it doesn't look any different from any other graphic on the page. But if I bring up my Behaviors window, I'll go to Window Behaviors, and I click on that image, you can see that there are some JavaScript events, this on-mouse out event and on-mouse over event, which is at work making this rollover happen. So we'll be looking at this a little bit later. I'll close this up for now. Let's go over here to our styles, and you can see I've got my body, which defines all the big decisions about my page, the background color, the text color, the font family. And then we have the wrapper, which is the big box element that centers the content on the page and defines the width. You'll notice we have a header and a main. And the reason for these two divs, they're both ID selectors. If you look on my page, you can see that I've got my header up here, The Wizard of Oz, and the rest of my content, which I'm calling my main. Each one of those are in separate divs that reside inside the wrapper div. You'll be seeing how I implement that technique shortly. As we continue to look down the styles, you'll see I've got an A link, A visited, A hover, and A active. These represent the 4 states for my links. And finally, I've got my H1, which as I go down here, you can see my H1 is in green. So there's a good overview of our styles. Let's go down to our files and take a look at our various items in our files list. You'll notice I've got quite a few JPEGs, the Dorothy, the group, the header, the index.htm, that's the page we're looking at, info.txt, that contains all the text for all our pages so I don't have to retype it, the lion, the scarecrow, we've got the Slippers 1 and Slippers 2, those are the 2 rollover graphics, and finally the Tin Man. Let's start building our page. Here's my Wizard project folder. I'll open that up so we can take a quick look at all the items inside. I've got a lot of JPEG images plus my document called info.txt. I'll close that up for now, and I'll open up Dreamweaver, and I'll manage my site. New site, give it a name, call it Wizard, connect it to the Wizard folder on my desktop, and choose it. I've got the path leading to my desktop and my Wizard folder, and I can click OK. Dreamweaver is now managing my site, the folder called Wizard, and I'll choose Done. I'm ready to create a new document. Create and save it. I'll save it as index. I'll save it to my Wizard folder that's sitting on my desktop and save. This document needs a title. This is going to be my home page. I'll name it The Wizard of Oz. At this point, I'm ready to put some text in my document. So I'll go on down to my text file and I'll open that up. I'm only interested in this first paragraph, so I'll copy that, close it up, and paste it in my index file. Now I'm ready to start styling my page, and I'm going to begin by styling my body. I'll go over to my CSS styles and create a new rule. I'll be using the tag selector, and I want to make sure that it says body. If it doesn't say body in here, I would type it myself. I'll click OK, and now I get to choose all the properties for my page. I'll go up here and maybe I'll choose Georgia for my font. My font size for my body will always be 100%. Now I can choose a color for my font. I think for this project I'll make it kind of a dark gray. And I'll hit apply to see how the changes look. The next thing I want to do is I want to go to the background and give it a little background color. I'm going to start with just a light blue color, something like that. Let's see what that looks like. I'll hit the apply button. Maybe that's a little bit dark. I can go down here and make it a little bit lighter. And I'll hit apply again. Much better. Next I'll go to the box category. In the box category, I'm going to remove my padding and my margin. I'll do that by putting in a 0 here under padding and a 0 here under margin. This will remove any additional space that was originally programmed into the browser window. When I hit the apply button, you'll notice my text pushes itself all the way up to the top and the side. Now I can click the OK button. I can now see my body in my Styles panel, as well as all the properties. You can see that the margin and padding are set to 0. And the benefit of this is when I start putting in divs, which I will shortly, it gives me total control of those box elements. Now in my mind, I'm dividing this page into two sections. The top part, which is the header section, and the bottom part, which is the main section. So I'm going to begin by inserting some more text up here, and I'll start by putting in the words header goes here. Now I'll press the enter key a couple times, and then I'll insert some more text right around there. Main starts here, and I'll put in some more words. Links go here.